This is Bold TV. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another exciting episode of Bold TV. Bold TV is a program that comes to you every Saturday by 10:30 a.m. on our Facebook and our YouTube channels, and it is powered by Bold Hearts Initiative. Today is another exciting day, and I want you to go grab someone, tell them it's time for Bold TV. We're about to learn something new. All right, welcome back. So today's episode, like I earlier stated, is here for you, and we are going to be focusing on cerebral palsy awareness, what you need to know. And we have a special guest with us to ensure that we have that conversation. She is a beautiful and outstanding lady with disability. So for those who do not know, that is the acronym for BOLD. Before I go ahead and introduce our guests, I just want to ask anyone who may be out there that if you want to partner with us in this program, which started in the year 2020, and we ask that you reach out to us through our email, which is boldheartnetwork.info@gmail.com. If you also want to be a participant or a guest of this program, whether you're a woman with disability or you are a woman who has professional experience in any field that will be important for us, you can reach out to our emails and we'll get to you. You can also reach out to any of the hosts of the program, as the co-hosts, myself, Osaki, Afion, Tomisin, Constance, and Grace. Any of us will be able to guide you on how you can participate on any of the episodes. For those who are reaching out, all of the past episodes of Bold TV, including this one, can be found on our Facebook page. That is www.facebook.com/Bold Hearts Network. It's right there on your screen. You can also see this episode and past episodes on www.youtube.com/@BoldTV_Bold Hearts. We are there. All our past episodes are there. You can go there and learn. What is Bold TV about? Bold TV focuses on speaking on issues around disabilities, and we always do that, not forgetting to shed or shine the gender light on it. So it is a lifestyle program on disability, a rights-based program on disability, and its related issues. Of course, ensuring that the gender light is shed on it. So without wasting time, today we're looking at cerebral palsy awareness, what you need to know. And our guest is Uche Madueke. And I'll quickly read her profile and we'll dive straight into it. Before we introduce our guest, it's okay if I introduce myself. My name is Freki Andrew Essien. I'm your host for this episode of Bold TV. I'm the Executive Director of Care Foundation, the coordinator of Bold Hearts Initiative, public health professional, among other things. So, our guest, who you can see on the screen, is Uche Madueke. She is a disability rights advocate and a teacher at Open Doors Special Education for over the past 20 years. So as an educationist, she has great experience in that area for the past 20 years. As an advocate, she has had various opportunities to speak. In fact, we were together recently at Abuja for a program that focused on access to decent work for persons with disabilities. I'm sure in subsequent episodes we'll be able to talk on that. So she has the opportunity to speak at various events in Nigeria and even internationally. And one of the events in Lagos was deemed very impressive by the NOLA Cerebral Palsy Initiative, and this led them to honoring her with the title of the NOLA Ambassador. So, I know we can't clap wherever you are, whether it's the SLI clap or the visual clap. Help me welcome our guest, Uche now. Uche, you're welcome to Bold TV.
Thank you for having me here.
It's a real pleasure. So we ask that you are settled, you be with us as we begin to learn about disability, specifically cerebral palsy. So one of the things that we do on Bold TV, like I said, is to really bring to light some different types of disabilities, because we would not be wise to play any form of ignorance to knowing that a lot of persons do not know the different types of disabilities out there. We've had different episodes focused on different types, and today we're looking at cerebral palsy. And for those who may be wondering, what is cerebral palsy? Cerebral palsy, people call it CP. So C for cerebral, P for palsy. So CP for short is it's a type of disability, and it is caused by the developing brain, usually in childhood, either during or shortly after birth. And there are multiple types. That's what people should know. There are different forms of cerebral palsy. Also, there are different symptoms of cerebral palsy. So, in other words, not one size fits all. So it's good to know that. But in understanding what it is a neurological disorder, and it affects the motor or developmental skills. It can affect them in varying degrees. Motor skills being one's movement, one's speech, anything controlled by muscles, that's motor. And then developmental, which comes to the mind, which is why in the disability community, cerebral palsy is referred to as an intellectual or a learning disability. So it occurs shortly after birth or during birth, depending on what happened. And CP is something that people should know can be preventable. So it's something that can be preventable, which is why one of the great things that we always do, especially us in field care, is that we advocate for any mother to ensure that during the time of ANC, you also have a lot of all the care you can get during ANC and during postnatal care. But not to bore you with medical brouhaha, coming from the public health perspective, I'm going to turn the lights over to Uche. Uche, you have been on this journey for how many years now? So you
47 years.
Wow, 47 years as not just a survivor, but someone who's thriving even with cerebral palsy. So tell us a bit about what it's been like these 47 years. So what has CP been for you? You have the floor.
Good day, everyone. Thank you, Frankie, for having me here. I'm a woman living with cerebral palsy. I've been with it for 47 years, going to 48 years in September 29. When I knew I had CP was in primary school. At first I didn't know, but my late mother took me to a regular school. She made sure I had an education. But I noticed the children were always looking and laughing at me funny. So I went to ask her one day, Mommy, why are they always mocking me? Because she employed someone to carry me, to escort me to school because I couldn't walk properly. But she made sure I had a regular education. So she told me I was different because I was wondering as a child, what are children always looking at me funny in school? I didn't know I did not have sleepy, but I know people were having job, especially one girl. In fact, children, they can be increasing. When I knew I was a special person. In primary school, I was writing on my own. I couldn't write, so the teachers were not understanding my writing, so they were always failing me. In primary school, in the 80s, that's when I went to primary school, in University Primary School in Jos. The teachers did not understand me, but because of my motor challenges, they did not understand my writing because I couldn't write well. But they were better in secondary school. Secondary school was more friendly. People were willing to help me copy my notes, and the teachers were giving me our exam. That when they knew that I had a normal intelligence and I was passing my exam better than when I was in secondary school, because I wasn't writing on my own. They were doing our exam, which was the best way because my writing was off.
Wow, your journey is an interesting one, especially as a child. Especially as a child, when you didn't even know that there was something different and you were in regular school and your mom, had assigned someone to assist you to go to school, and you now realized that there was something different, and you asked her, what was different about you. And I particularly like where you spoke to the challenges that you had in primary school, when the mode of writing, they were not able to understand you, and therefore they were failing you. That speaks a lot to our education system, and which does not surprise me that you are an educator and that you've been with Open Doors special education for over the past 20 years. So can you tell us a bit about how and why you started with Open Doors?
When I finished secondary school, one white lady, she was a lecturer. She was a lecturer in Uche, and she took me into her office and was teaching me how to use the laptop to express myself by typing. Before that, when I met her, I saw a book in her office by Johnny. Johnny, the lady that was paralyzed from her neck to her toe. So she gave me the book to read. When I was going through it, and I told her, Auntie, I want to be great, like the woman live in America. Then you can make a change in Nigeria. Go and read special education, do a diploma, and that's how I did a diploma in Uche. in special education, one break, one long strike in the university, I started doing some work with them at Open Door. I volunteered. And she was so impressed, and she knew my capacity. Before I graduated from Uche, she gave me an automatic job at Open Doors. That I started working at Open Door in 2001.
You know, hearing your story is very exciting because I know that somebody out there is hopefully listening. And I particularly like the fact that when you went to see this person who obviously is your mentor, you know, you were interested in doing more. I also like the fact that you did not shy away from volunteering, because I know that a lot of people lose opportunities when they do not understand the power of volunteering. That commitment to service, whether it is paid or not, is very special. And here you are telling us your journey of how today you actually are an educationist, special education. During the long vacation, you started volunteering, and that was your automatic in to Open Doors, where you have been for the past 20 years going. So what is your position currently at Open Doors 20 years in? What's happening?
Okay, I'm a senior staff. And one thing I love Open Doors because it's an environment that accommodates and respects people with disabilities. I can't write, but in Open Door, I'm a head teacher, and they give me free. I do the teaching. When I want to write, I tell somebody want to write, and they write. And I'm grateful and happy that I could be employed in Open Door. The parents come to see me, and they have hope for their children. They come to see me, and they see me as the teacher. It made them hopeful for their own, especially parents with children with cerebral palsy.
Wow, that's so deep. And you know, speaking about you currently being a senior staff and engaging with the parents of children who have cerebral palsy, can you tell us, you know, about what are some of the concerns that this parent engages raise? You don't need to mention names. What are some of the concerns that parents that have children cerebral palsy usually pose, and what are some of your words of encouragement?
Okay. Number one, most of the parents think, like I said, because they think the children are non-entity. Because when you see a person with cerebral palsy, because of our lack of coordination in movement and in speech, people think their children they're not able to achieve. But when I meet the parents, I tell them, look at me. I'm not well coordinated, but look at me, I'm a teacher. I went to school, and some parents think it's impossible. But I keep talking to them because some parents they feel that with the disabilities, you cannot be an achiever. And to start the narrative, I want to to correct with the disability, especially cerebral palsy, you can achieve, because in most cases, people with cerebral palsy have a normal intelligence with the help of the parents, the society, to help the child to one or two things. Make sure they have the right physiotherapy. Make sure you're not locking them at home. That one thing I'm grateful to God about my late mother. She used to take me home like my siblings. She takes me outing with them. Let your child with cerebral palsy expose them to the society. Don't be ashamed of them. Thank you.
Wow. Great, amazing points. And I'm hoping a parent or a caregiver with a child with cerebral palsy is hearing. One of the things you will not do is lock up that child.
Yeah.
First of all, that is discrimination, and is even actually punishable by law currently in Nigeria. So one of the things you will not do is, because of your own shame, to lock a child that is living and breathing up. And the next point you said to caregivers is, you would want to expose your child early to society. The more they see, the better they are able to, adjust to that person's, presentation. She has also said another thing. Even though we said that cerebral palsy is a neurological disorder that can affect motor function and sometimes developmental, most of the time it largely affects the motor function, where you find a person who has maybe an uncoordinated movement, that's walking or speech. And a lot of time, the intelligent quotient of that person is usually within the normal range. So you don't want to deny the child of the needful just because of how they are speaking or how they are moving, and that child is able to learn. So those are some very powerful points that she has mentioned in speaking to caregivers. And then she has said that because of her journey on CP, that she has been able to also show caregivers and parents that achieving is possible. I'm sure you heard her tell you that she went to primary, she went to secondary, she went to university where she studied a diploma in special education, and currently she is a senior staff at the Open Door School. And another thing that I would like to pick out is our approach to education. There's a lot of advocacy, probably not nearly enough, on inclusive education. And what inclusive education is not segregated, neither is it integrated education. It is an education that is tailored to the needs of a child. Remember the International Women's Day, we're all shouting embrace equity. That's exactly what we're talking about. So in her case, she's not able to write. But when it was identified that she could still do her exams orally, she was given that opportunity. And we need to begin to think of the way systems are discriminatory. That is exactly an example of how a system can limit a person, because you think that it must be written exam. And then you forget that there is a place for oral exam and other forms of examination, including virtually using the computer and etc. So I'll turn the conversation over to Uche. And when you speak on caregivers some more, I would like you to now also speak to what society can begin to do to enable or enhance children or persons with CP to have better lives and quality of life. Go ahead.
Your child with CP can have a better and fulfilled life. I'm a living testimony. I don't have a mother. Parents, build up your child, especially your daughter with cerebral palsy. Don't say, who will marry the one? let me lock her and pray she dies. That the kid not the die, not be you give her life. Build up your children with cerebral palsy. Educationally, socially, mentally, parents build up your child with cerebral palsy.
Okay, thank you, Uche, for speaking to the parents. So I'd like you to quickly please speak to society. What were some of the challenges that you faced from people outside of your support system, that is the family? Because you've talked richly about the support that your mother gave you and that allowed you to be able to be the achiever that you are today as an adult. But I also know that people outside of that safe space, may not necessarily have been nice or so what were some of the challenges and how were you able to overcome?
I'll give you two very sharply. Number one was when I started entering a taxi on my own. I'll go to the road because of my movement. I will shut down a taxi. They will stop. When they see my movement, they will run. It will just drive and say, this one I wish, or this one is not well. Another incident was when I was walking on the road, and one young girl saw me. I knelt down on the road and was pointing and cursing me. So the society needs to know about safety, especially the movement. When people know you better, they understand you. For me, it improved because I go out the law.
Wow. Really, people do not understand anything that is different from what they perceive as normal. And once they see anything that looks out of the ordinary, it is attributed to spirituality. And Uche, I just really want to salute your courage to be able to push on in spite of things like this. I think one of the things that you have mentioned is developing the mindset that another person shouldn't limit you and that people will only act based on the knowledge that they have. And of course, largely a lot of persons, even within the disability clusters and outside society at large, are largely ignorant, which is why a program like this is coming to you so that you can begin to understand that cerebral palsy, number one, people with cerebral palsy would have or present sometimes when it affects the motor system that I think they are not balanced. They will have a funny way of working. It may not be balanced or coordinated. You've heard Uche talk about her movement not largely coordinated, and she has spoken that how her own CP also presents is through her speech. And so when you begin to see things like this, the first thing that should come to your mind, or the last thing that should come to your mind, is that this person is cursed or this person is a witch. You should also not think about that person and associate the person with an idiot or somebody who does not think or reason. You should also not associate that with a person who is mentally retarded per se. That is the person who belongs to an asylum. You shouldn't do that. And another thing that you would probably also not want to do is kneel down on the road and start binding and casting. That is just discrimination at the highest height, and then you're putting God in the middle of that. I think she has mentioned something that she engages with people so that people can begin to learn more about her about CP and how she presents, especially people around her, and they have begun to get used to it. So do not judge a book by its cover. Be patient to learn everybody's individual uniqueness. You will be pleasantly surprised. Okay, Uche, as we begin to wrap this up, I would like you to address the government.
Number one, government to put out love that any parents that lost their children with CP can be found. They will take them to court. And government to provide good medical care, because people with cerebral palsy need physiotherapy, make it affordable, and give them equal education like other regular children. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. Uche has said amazing points, speaking to the government. So there's a lot that can be done by government, and that is instituting laws. And then the last one, which has to do with actual locking up of children. That is punishable by law. Yes, we have the Discrimination Act that is there, but where we may need to start hitting it even more, because we've had too many cases of caregivers and parents maltreating children or locking up children, even sometimes medical experts. So let's be careful and let's ensure that we do not lock children. Please, if you know any child who is currently being locked up by a parent, you can report that case to the police and to be taken up seriously, because it is punishable even as of now by law, by reason of the Prohibition Act. That is discrimination, that is disability-based violence at one of its highest forms. All right, people, we've been learning about cerebral palsy with Uche Madueke, a senior teacher at Open Door Special Education, a speaker in Nigerian national and international events, and also a disability advocate. So Uche, as we wrap up this episode of Bold TV, is there any short last word that you would like to share with anyone out there, either with an adult with CP, a child with CP, anybody? Just share your last thoughts.
As the person living with CP, life is a gift from God.
Amazing. At the end of the day, life is a gift from God, and how you handle that life, you will account for at the end. Thank you so much, Uche, for being on this episode of Bold TV. It has been very enlightening for both us in the disability cluster, the caregivers out there, parents out there, as well as the society and even government, on things they can begin to do to ensure that a child, an adult 18, or an adult with cerebral palsy is not left out or discriminated again. Right, people, we've had an amazing episode. Once again, I really want to thank our guest, Uche. This has been a one-on-one on Bold TV, brought to you by Bold Heart Initiative. See this episode and past episodes, please rush to our Facebook page, like the page so that you can get notifications on all episodes as they come 10:30 a.m. every Saturday. For you to see our Facebook page, that is www.facebook.com/Bold Network. It's right there on your screen. Rush there now and like, and all the episodes you like, you are free to also share them far and wide. Why are we asking you to do this? Because the things and the information that we bring on Bold TV are very crucial. And how you can get the word out there is by also liking and sharing our episodes. Another place where you can find Bold TV is on YouTube. For that, you would need to subscribe to the channel and also click the bell, which is a notification bell, so that you can know when new episodes come up every Saturday at 10:30 a.m. And to go on our YouTube channel, www.youtube.com/@BoldTV_Bold Hearts. Once again, you can go there, like, and share the episode. Uche, thank you once again. Thank you so much for being on this episode of Bold TV. Great information sharing. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for bringing us into your world. And you are an achiever. Oh my God. If I thought I had it rough, I have not even known anything. You are an achiever. You know, and living with this every day, being with it every day, but still doing the most and being your authentic self. And God bless your late mom, God bless her for not allowing you to be left behind, of blessed memory. I know when you shared that she had gone, God, she had passed on, but God bless mothers like Uche's mother and my mother for being bedbugs and great support system. For any caregiver out there who has a child with CP, you can reach out to other parents or caregivers who have children with CP. That can also be a great support system for you, because we understand that they can be burnt out, you can get tired. So you want to also reach out to caregivers and parents in such support groups so that you can engage with them as well and learn different skills and have your own downtime as well. So until we come your way, same time, 10:30 a.m. on Saturday, be good. Like Uche said, everybody deserves a chance at life. Thank you so much. Bye. This is Bold